The EB3 visa, a subcategory of the employment immigration visa, is a powerful option for professionals, skilled workers, and unskilled workers hoping to get permanent residency in the United States. Through the EB3 visa, a U.S. company can sponsor a foreign worker for a green card to a full-time job offer. Raju Law, one of the top immigration law firms in the USA, is your trustful address for any assistance and advice regarding immigration to America. To know more, dial the number shown on your screen.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the weekly live session held by attorney Raju Mahajan and Associates. For today's discussion, I am your host, Isabella Rosario, and I have a very special guest who is none other than the founding attorney of the firm, Mr. Raju Mahajan himself. Mr. Mahajan, it is great to have you today.
Thank you very much, Isabella, and thank you everybody who are watching our show at this moment or will watch it later in our YouTube, Facebook, and other media. I welcome all of you to this show.
And yes, welcome to everybody who's watching. Today's topic of discussion is a very important matter that concerns a lot of us, and that matter is EB3 step-by-step instructions. Mr. Mahajan, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Thank you very much. Can I see the PowerPoint, please? So at this moment, EB3 is a very hot topic. A lot of people from all over the world, they come to America through EB3 visa because of two main reasons. Number one, America is in huge short of labor force, especially in unskilled categories, like people who work in grocery store, gas stations, meat processing plant, like agricultural field. The kind of job that doesn't require any special education and training. America needs a lot of people like them. That is number one reason. Number two, this is it's unskilled category, meaning you do not need any skill. You do not need any education. You do not need IELTS or TOEFL. You do not need technically anything. That's why if you can complete this process, you can come to America with a green card with your family. So that's why EB3 is a very lucrative visa application for many people all over the world, and that's why a lot of people are coming every year. Can I see the PowerPoint, please? Samir, can you hear me? Probably we have some technical issues, but yeah, let me start there. So EB3 process has 3 steps. The first one is called PERM. The second one is called I-140, and the third one is called either I-485 or IVP, Immigration Visa Processing, depending on where you are coming from. If you are living in America, then you will go through I-485 process. It's called Adjustment of Status. If you are coming from a foreign country like India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, African countries or South American countries, then you'll go through IVP. You have to apply through your local embassy. So the first step, PERM, has several steps too. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, good. So the first one is called PERM, and PERM has 4 subcategories. The first one is called PWD, Prevailing Wage Determination, meaning the job you are coming for, we have to see what is the minimum wage the employer have to pay you for that specific location, for that specific job. Let's say the job is a McDonald's worker. It is located in rural West Virginia. So we have to apply to Department of Labor. By the way, there are a few other information I should tell you before I go to this step-by-step process. Number one is you cannot apply for EB3 by yourself. You must have an employer who is sponsoring your application, meaning who is applying for you. So you cannot apply by yourself. Your employer will apply for you. Number two, your there's 2 different departments. In America, there's multiple departments. There's different departments that is involved with this process. One is Department of Labor, in short, it's called DOL, and Department of State is like a DOS. So the first 2 steps, PERM and I-140, must be done by your employer, and the third step you can do it yourself. So as we are telling that the very first step of PERM process is PWD, Prevailing Wage Determination. we have to apply to Department of Labor to see what is the minimum wage your employer must pay you for this job in this specific location. As I was going to tell you, let's say this is a McDonald's in a rural West Virginia. They are going to apply for you. So we have to submit this form to DOL to see what is the minimum wage. So let's say the minimum wage is $11.75, meaning your employer must pay you $11.75 per hour. So, what DOL see in this kind of a prevailing wage determination is that your employer must follow two rules. Number one, they cannot pay you less than an American citizen or permanent resident. The employer must pay you the same amount. If the employer was hiring a local person, local US citizen or permanent resident, the wage they were going to pay that employee, they must pay to you. Number two, your workplace environment must be standard to an American citizen, meaning they cannot force you to do extra work. They cannot force you to kind of work that a normal American citizen will not do, kind of things. So number two, wage, your employer must pay you the same or similar wage to American citizen. Number two, the workplace environment must be same or similar to American citizen. And these two things are determined in PWD application. Once the PWD is approved, usually it takes 3 to 4 months, but now sometimes it takes more than a year to just get the PWD. So once PWD is approved, we go to the second step, which is called advertisement. There are multiple requirements for different kind of job offerings. In general, there are 3 advertisement options that we must fulfill. Number one, we have to put advertisement in Sunday edition for 2 consecutive Sundays in the local newspaper of that business. So as I was telling, our example business is a McDonald's in a rural West Virginia. So we have to find a newspaper that has Sunday edition in rural West Virginia. We have to put that advertisement in 2 consecutive Sundays. Also, every state has their own workplace website. So, West Virginia's workplace website, we have to put a advertisement for at least 30 days. Sometimes we do it 32 days, 35 days, just to be on the safe side. So we have to put advertisement in West Virginia's workplace website. It's kind of like a bulletin board. It's like an online bulletin board. Also, we have to post a advertisement in the actual business, meaning on the door of the McDonald's, or door of the bathroom of the McDonald's, put like an advertisement that they are hiring. So when this advertisement process is done, then they will get a lot of applications. If they find a local employee who is interested to get this job, then they cannot apply for you. Only if they do not find a qualified local employee, only then they can hire you and apply for you. Once they determine that you are the best candidate, they will hire you. After hiring is done, the last step of PERM application is LC application. LC means labor certification. This is the most important application for the entire EB3. So when your company is applying for you, be careful. Ask them to be careful about all the appropriate information. Make sure that your name, spelling, your date of birth, your personal information is mentioned properly in the LC application. Sometimes LC takes more than a year. So in total, the PERM application should take around 1 year, but sometimes it may take like 1.5 year kind of time, depending on situation. Once the LC is approved, then we go to the second step, I-140. I-140 is comparatively straight. It's just a one application for you. Most of the information will about you, the employee, and the employer, like the business. And the good thing is there's the premium processing. With the premium processing, you can get it approved within like 3 to 4 weeks. Without a premium processing, with the regular processing, sometimes it takes 4 to 6 months. Once your I-140 is approved, then you have to wait for your priority date to be present in the visa bulletin. Once your priority date is present in the visa bulletin, then you can either apply for I-485 or IPP, depending on where you are. Let's say you are coming from India, or let's say Mexico, or from Nepal. Then you have to apply to your local US Embassy in your home country. However, if you are in America for any kind of valid visa, let's say in student visa or other thing, then you should apply for I-485 adjustment of status. I'm not going that detail into each step, because the purpose of this discussion is like a like information purpose only. Everything depends on the situation. Everything depends on the person's background. So that was our short discussion on EB3.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for that enlightening discussion. I'm sure all of us, we are now more knowledgeable about this issue than we were before. While you were displaying your presentation, we have already had some audience members drop a few questions. So the first question we have had is from Mr. Nandan Kumar, and he asks, I am a PhD in agriculture soil science, having 10 years experience. I don't have any publications and citations. Am I eligible for EB2 NIW?
Yes, you are eligible for EB2 NIW, especially you have a background in agriculture. Right now, America needs a lot of people who are expert in agriculture, and you have a PhD degree, and even though you do not have any publication citation, I believe you have some work experience. You said you have 10 years of work experience. I think your case is very good for NIW application. So what I would advise you, you go to our website, please, and in the home page, around in the mid area, there's a button called click here for free NIW evaluation. You click that button, a Google form will pop up, and you please answer all those questions. There's probably 10 or 12 short questions. Answer those questions, upload your CV, and send it to us. We will evaluate your profile, and we'll get back to you within 3 to 4 business days.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. Kumar. We have had another question from Mr. 𝗦𝘂𝘃𝗍𝗄, and he says, thank you for these sessions. They are very helpful. I received my TPS in December 2022. My country was granted TPS in June 2015. To re-register for TPS, what documents do I need to present to the USCIS? Do I need to prove my continuous residence since 2015 or since December 2022 when I first received TPS? Thank you again.
Yes, so to receive TPS, you must submit proof of continuous residency from where you first came to America. So in this TPS in December, so you got the TPS in December 2022, but you probably did not tell us when is the first time you came to America. So you have to establish your legal presence here in America from the beginning of you came here. And then also, of course, since you received TPS in 2022, definitely since then it is legal status here in America. So short answer to your question, from the very first day you came to America, you have to be in legal status to receive TPS.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. Sigdel. We have another question from Ms. Emily Marshall, and she asks, does retrogression impact EB3? If yes, how much I-485 backlog is at USCIS pending now?
Yes, retrogression impacts everybody except immediate family member of US citizen. They do not have any retrogression. Other than that, pretty much everybody is affected by retrogression, and it depends on your home country, which country you are from. So I advise you to go to the visa bulletin page. Department of State publishes visa bulletin every month. Right now, since this is the beginning of July, right now we are following July 2023 visa bulletin, but I believe within the next 15 days, August visa bulletin will also be published. So you please keep your eyes open and see what is the latest update about EB3. And also EB3 has 2-3 different categories: EB3 skilled, unskilled, semi-skilled. So please pay attention to those and see what is the retrogression amount in your home country for your category.
Thank you, Mr. Mahajan, for that response. I hope that answers your queries, Ms. Marshall. And with that, we do not have any more questions at this point. Mr. Mahajan, thank you so much for that insightful discussion. I would like to ask you one final question. Are there any updates from the USCIS we should be looking forward?
Yes, there are some updates. Let me get the list. Yes. So there are some good news. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service will celebrate Independence Day this year by welcoming more than 5,500 new citizens in more than 180 naturalization ceremonies between June 30th and July 7th. So this is a very short period. June 30th and July 7th is probably 6 days or 7 days. Within these 7 days, they are going to welcome 5,500 new citizens, meaning those who are US permanent residents, those who have green card after usually 5 years, sometime after 3 years, you get chance to become US citizen. Once you apply, then there's a some procedure. I'm not going the detail, and at the end of the procedure, you join a naturalization ceremony and you become citizen. So this is the news. Current administration, Biden administration, they're very focused, very serious about getting citizenship done, and that's why within this only 6 days they are going to complete citizenship application for 5,500 new citizens. Next news is Canada announces new work permit for US H-1B visa holders. This is a very interesting thing. I do not know why Canada is doing this. So the news is, if you have an approved H-1B visa in America, definitely you can work in America. At the same time, you can also work in Canada. Canada is offering 10,000 American work holders to work in Canada every year. So this is a very good option for H-1B holders. If you have a H-1B, you can choose whether you want to work in America or in Canada. This is a very good news for H-1B visa holders. The next news is US visa service on the official DOS visa announces service website for India will change on July 15, 2023. According to the DOS, visa applicants must follow DOS appointments and payment guidelines for a smooth transition. So the people who are going to apply for visa in India, American visa in Indian US Embassy, there's a new changes, and they are requesting you to follow the new changes to make sure that your visa application is submitted properly. There's a whole guideline. I'm not going to go that detail because it depends on specific information. Just keep in mind that things are getting changed in US Embassy in India. Just follow the new things. That was our news discussion today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for relaying these updates to us. While you were talking about the updates, we have had 2 more questions pop. The first question is from Mr. 𝗂𝘂 𝗟𝗶𝘆, and he asks, can you please tell me the overall cost of the whole procedure?
Which
regarding
procedure?
EB3, I presume.
Okay, yeah. So, it's just a very good question. Thank you. So, as I said, for EB3, you need employment here in America. Your employer is going to apply for you. So if you can find your own employer, let's say you found a grocery store who is going to apply for you, and your grocery store owner, he contacts us. In that case, the entire process would be around $10,000. I'm just giving like a ballpark idea, depending on many factors. Around $10,000 for one person, and then for per additional person, there'll be around $1,000 each. However, if you say that, no, I do not know anybody here in America, I have nobody who can sponsor me, then I would advise you to contact an employment agency who can introduce you to an employer, or who can directly hire you for an employer. So we have a sister organization. Their name is Great American Recruiter. Their website is www.greatamericanrecruiter.com. If you do not have an employer, if you do not know anybody who can sponsor you, I advise you to contact them. And they have their own payment plan and everything. I do not know exact fee, probably around $20,000, but I advise you to contact them. They will give you the exact breakdown of how much you have to pay per person plus per additional dependents.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. 𝗟𝗆. We have another question from Ms. Fatima Jahan, who asks, my husband is a doctor for 20 years. Can we apply for NIW?
Well, I need more information about that. In general, doctors have some restrictions, because just because someone is a doctor in a foreign country, they are not allowed to practice here in America. To practice as a doctor, they need USMLE passed. And even after passing the USMLE exam, they need to apply for, I think it's called, it's kind of internship. I forget the exact time. I'm sorry for that. Residency. So first, some foreign doctors, they need to pass the exam called USMLE. After passing the exam, they need to apply for residency, and residency program is usually probably 4 years. After completing that residency program, they're allowed to practice here in America. So just because someone is a doctor in a foreign country is not automatically allowed to practice America. That's why a lot of time, if we apply as a doctor, USCIS is not very interested to approve NIW, because they know that just because someone has a green card, they cannot practice in America. That's why in most cases, we advise doctors to apply as a researcher. So let's say somebody is an orthopedic doctor, meaning that he or she can do research on bones, human bones and other things. So it depends on what kind of doctor he is. And I strongly advise you to take an appointment, talk detail, and then I'll be able to advise personally, one-on-one. But in general, NIW application for doctors is a little tricky.
Ms. Fatima has asked another question. Can we apply for EB3 Skilled?
Yes, EB3, you can apply for anything, but the question is he going to apply for EB3 Skilled as a doctor? Then the same problem, comes, because, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, nurses from foreign countries, they cannot directly work here in America. There's some restriction. Unlike, computer science PhD holders or chemistry, physics PhD holders, they can directly come to America and get a professor job. They don't need any exam or anything. Since this is a kind of like a restricted profession, I would advise you to talk either with me or some other immigration attorney and explain the situation and what kind of doctor he is, how many, what kind of training he has. So it depends on many factors.
I hope that answers your question, Ms. Jahan. We have had another question from Mr. Imdad Khan, and he asks, suppose I got B1, B2 visa, then I go to the USA and apply for EB3 visa. Then at the time of embassy interview, if I visit USA again, is it possible to face interview in USA for EB3 using my B1, B2 visa?
Yes, it is possible. That's a good plan. So let me tell you how it will work. EB3 application has 3 steps. The first one is called PERM, the second one is I-140, and the third one is either I-485 or IVP. So in the first 2 steps, PERM and I-140, there is no interview. And you do not need to be here in America. You can apply from anywhere in the world. So let's say the PERM application, you started from Bangladesh, I-140, you applied from Bangladesh. Once your I-140 is approved, and you see that your priority date is current in the visa bulletin, then you can come to America with a B1, B2 visa, tourist visa, and you can apply for I-485 from within America. That's a very smart idea, because once you apply for I-485, you submit your application to USCIS, which is under the Department of Homeland Security. However, you submit your application to embassy, which is under Department of State. These 2 departments has totally different procedure, different mechanism, and usually Department of Homeland Security is more easy to access. We attorneys, we can easily contact USCIS officials, Department of Homeland officials is easy for us. However, when we try to contact any official from embassy or anybody from Department of State, it's usually harder for us, because Department of State, they enjoy certain immunity from legal procedure and other procedures. So I always advise people to apply for I-485 instead of IVP. Yes, your plan is good. I believe you can start with that.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. Khan. We have had another question from Mr. Nandan Kumar, and he asks, I have my PhD from Germany. Do I need equivalency from the USA? If so, what organizations are doing that?
Yes, anybody who graduated from a foreign university, and foreign means like anywhere other than America, even Canada, Mexico, UK, they all are foreign university to America. You have to get your degree evaluated and equivalent to American degree. There are many organizations. There's one organization is very famous. It's called WES, World Education Service. I think their website is WES.org, but you do not have to go there. There are many other organizations too. So anybody who does equivalency, you can take service from them, get your degree evaluated, get equivalent to American degree, and you can apply to NIW.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. Kumar. Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for today's insightful session. And I hope the audience members have enjoyed our live session regarding EB3 and our detailed discussion session. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We will see you next week at the same time again. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
The EB3 visa, a subcategory of the employment immigration visa, is a powerful option for professionals, skilled workers, and unskilled workers hoping to get permanent residency in the United States. Through the EB3 visa, a U.S. company can sponsor a foreign worker for a green card to a full-time job offer. Raju Law, one of the top immigration law firms in the USA, is your trustful address for any assistance and advice regarding immigration to America. To know more, dial the number shown on your screen.